In this session, we're going to explore how you connect the Flux Panda player to your e-commerce store. And this essentially enables you to do a couple of things. One of them is that when people or customers purchase products, they will actually end up in your e-commerce store exactly the way that you're used to, right? So you're not going to get the orders from any other system, but they're just going to appear exactly the same way on your e-commerce store. So we're going to look at how to do that. The other thing that it enables you is to take orders from other platforms where you share the player too, right? So let's say you embed it into an Instagram story or you put it into a WhatsApp group. The orders from there, you're going to get again exactly the same way in your existing e-commerce store. And the other thing that you can also do, of course, is like, sync products from your e-commerce store into our player. Now, the way that this works is that we hold a copy of your products in our system, and we match the product based on the SKU or a unique ID, right? So it needs to be unique for each variant that you have, but each e-commerce store has a unique ID per variant, and that's the one that we use. We call it the external ID. So this external ID that we have is the same ID that you have in your e-commerce solution as the unique ID for the product. And the way you get this into our system is, as we already discussed in the when you create products, right? We had a video about this, by either importing or manually putting it here or using our API, right? So like this external ID is the important one. It needs to match the ID in your system. Now, how does it work again? When someone clicks on a product and adds it into our cart during the live show or during the consultation or even when they watch a recorded video and they press the checkout button, we populate your shopping cart, minimize the video so they continue watching and they can do the checkout. And remember, the same thing also works when you on the standalone player. And the standalone player is exactly the same experience, but it's not on your website. It's accessible using a direct link. This link you can embed, as said, into an Instagram story, into a WhatsApp group, share it on Facebook, whatever. And people, again, add products to the cart. And when they check out, we redirect them to your e-commerce store, populate the shopping cart, relaunch the video, right? So that's kind of like a smooth transition from one platform to another. And when you go live, you should be live in as many places as possible because that's how you get more viewers, and that's the whole idea. So don't just go live on one platform, but go live on many platforms with our player and restreaming and all that. Now, the way that this transfer of the items from our player to your shopping cart works is through a little bit of JavaScript that you have to copy paste onto your e-commerce store. And this works with any e-commerce store that supports JavaScript, which should be any e-commerce store. And we have a bunch of code snippets already available here, and probably by the time you watch this, there's going to be more. There is BigCommerce and WooCommerce and Shopify and Lightspeed and Magento and all those kind of things we have code snippets for as well. And essentially what you need to do is you need to install our embedded SDK, which is copy pasting the JavaScript. Then you need this bit of code which kind of does some basic configurations, right? So you put your API key, your channel ID, and then this is the important method which is called on checkout, right? And if this is too technical, then of course you can reach out to us for support. You can ask your developers to implement this, or one of our partners can help you, not an issue. But it's actually super simple. It takes a couple of hours to do this. I mean, it actually takes minutes, but but to get your head around it for sure. This method gets called whenever someone clicks on this checkout button, right? So no matter if they're on the website on the widget, or on Instagram on the widget, or inside WhatsApp on our widget, whenever they click on the Flux Player checkout button, this method gets called. And it populates the shopping cart from our data based on this external ID, into your system. And in addition, what you will need is the respective code for each platform. That's this populate shopping cart function over here. So you can see, same as what I just showed you, but then you use the Shopify one for Shopify, you use the BigCommerce for BigCommerce, the Magento for Magento, and if something's not listed here and you need it, you reach out. We'll create it for you quickly. That's essentially all it takes to integrate this. This API key and the channel ID you take from the add-on, and the add-on is available under add-ons. And here, if I click on manage this add-on, I can see there is my API key, and yeah, that's essentially what you need. So you just copy over this API key, and the channel ID is the name of your channel, which is also mentioned here, or here up in the URL. That's your channel ID. And that's pretty much all you need, right? So once you've added this to your e-commerce store, you can enable the functionality that I just showed you with, like, you know, picture-in-picture playback, so people can browse the website and continue watching. It will transfer to the shopping cart. All this works. Now, what you can also do, you can go, you know, wild and do other customizations using our SDK. For example, you can build your own list of live shows if you like. You can also programmatically open or close the player. You can offer a call option for a one-on-one call between a website visitor and a sales agent in the store. You can customize the routing even if you have many stores and many agents, and you can do all sorts of things. So from a very basic, you know, integration from what I showed you here, which like literally takes, you know, a couple of hours to do, over to something like super complex where you can like get your chatbots involved if you want. Everything is possible. So this is an introduction on, well, not an introduction, that's actually all it takes to put Flux Panda and integrate it with your e-commerce store. So it's super simple, and yeah, that's that. You know, if you have questions, please do get in touch.